Welcome to Devlog number 11 for Efficiency, the best to-do list app ever created. Today, we dove into some complex systems, but honestly, nothing that big for the game, the Fishing-Dex. I love Fishing-Dexes, I love Pokédexes, I love all things that keep track of records. I think they're really cool to have in the game. So today, we did all of the grunt work for it. Today, I went through and labeled every single fish in the Fishing-Dex, allowing you to specifically click on every single one, see how many fish you've caught of each type, go through literally everything there is about it. It took me quite a while, but it is now all done and good to go. As you guys can see here, it looks a little bit janky still. Basically, how the system works is if you have caught the fish is available to you. You can see the sprite and you can see what it looks like. If you have not caught the fish, that means that it is blacked out and it's just the shadow of the fish. And of course, when you go to click on it, you don't know its name. You've obviously caught 0 of it, and its bio is just a bunch of question marks. Now, I still need to get around to writing bios for all these fish. I don't know why I keep giving myself more work to do on random tasks, but, you know, this is an example one. The Gubble is a silly guy. His name is Gubble. Total caught 2. I don't know why the 2 is so small. I need to fix that. But basically, this is how it's going to look. As you guys can see right here, total caught 1. Unfortunately, I, again, have not written a bio for the starfish yet, but it is all done now. The Fishing-Dex is entirely completed. On top of that, now when you tab out and you tab back into the boat, it will reset your progress as to where you were in the captain's quarters, which may seem like a small thing, but it's actually such a monumental change that I made that makes it so much nicer, and everything is easier now because I made this change. So a lot of quality of life improvements today that, you know, people will never really notice, but they're important things, because if they are noticing them, that means that something is wrong. And you want them to not notice those things. Now, let's go ahead and look at the back end for this. Today, it was mostly just in the fish collection book script. A lot of this was just tweaking around old systems, reworking how stuff worked a little bit. Specific fish pop was the big function of the day. We learned that in the Unity freaking UI, you cannot put in more than one integer in the Unity frickin' page. I don't know how to describe this, but basically, when you go into Unity, let's stop the play so I can actually show this to you guys. When you go into Unity, and let's say that you're attaching this to a game object. So we have the script and the button on the game object, and if we go over here to this button has a fish on it, and the fish has the specific fish pop button on it. But you can only attach one integer or one string. I tried to do 3 integers as the as the parameter for the function, but it doesn't allow that. So instead, I wrote it in as a string. I then split that string into 3 different integers. It parses it and is then able to read it as if it was just 3 integers. Kind of pissed off at Unity for doing that. But then it basically checks to see, okay, do we actually have any of this fish? If we do, then we can go ahead and display it. And if we don't, then we want to set it to all those question marks, and of course we want to set it to the color black. This just makes it a lot nicer because it lets everything look a little bit cooler, and it lets you click on any of the random tiles, because when you click on one of these tiles, you're basically just clicking on a random tile, but this function lets you know what tile you're clicking on, so it knows what to display in the pop-up menu. So that was really the theme of today. There were a few other things that I had to change along the way. For example, we needed to actually track how many fish have been caught. Instead of creating a new instead of creating a new system for this, I just repurposed an old system. So for the ocean registers, this one basically was just an old Boolean system where if you hadn't caught the fish, it would be at 0, and if you had, it would be at 1. Now I've updated it so that when you have caught the fish, it goes up and it just counts however many fish you have. So ocean registers now stores exactly how many fish you have caught throughout your entire time fishing. I realized that the register fish function is referenced in a lot of different places. For example, the minigame 1 script. And if you go over here, you can see that when you catch the fish, you have a fish earned quantity. So if we just add another parameter to it, the fish quantity, then you can just add that to the ocean registers right here, which it was already doing. So a very small fix for something that could have taken a lot of time. I think as I get better at game development, I'm learning how to do a lot of these things that make things just easier overall. To make this system where whenever you tab out of the, whatchamacallit, the captain's quarters and everything resets, I had to go into the tab script and basically just say, all right, whenever we tab out of this, I just want to set everything to false. And to do that, I literally just went in to the tab script over here in the Unity page. I made a list of all of the game objects that I want turned off, and I turned every single one of those off every time you tab out of it. Is this efficient? No, not at all. Is this horrible practice? Probably, yes. But is it a small enough scale where it doesn't matter? I think so. I don't think this is really going to impact game performance every time you hit that tab button. This isn't going to be like Pokemon Sleep where there's like a 15-minute delay every time you hit a different tab. I think that that's containing what's actually happening enough to the point where it's not going to increase lag by that much. So overall, really good day today. Got a lot done on the Fishing-Dex despite not having that much time on this. I did all of this work basically in the past hour after getting back from a Mets game. So I've really been out of the house all day. It's been a pretty good day. The Mets lost. That was quite unfortunate. So, not peak on that front. But on the other fronts, things are going well. Now we just need to go ahead and work on some of the island systems next. I want to rework how the selling system works, but I'm really, really happy with how the fish backings look. For those who didn't see yesterday's devlog, one of my favorite parts about this is that now when you go ahead and fish and you catch a certain rarity of fish, the backing of the fish changes, which I don't know why I'm bringing this up in this devlog. We touched none of these systems today, but as you guys can see right here, this fish has a green backing, and that makes me so happy. But overall, those are all the systems that we have added in today. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment so that these devlogs can get out to more people. Let me know if you want to see a different style. I think I'm going to be playing around with the style of these as I get more and more time over the next few days. With that being said, I am also starting a job, so I'll technically have less and less time. But I digress. We will now get Colby for the outro. Let's go and see what she has to say. Colby, what do you have to say for the devlog? Please. Colby, what do you have to say for the devlog number 11 outro?
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.